everyone. Welcome to another episode of the QubicaAMF Tech Tip Podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we take you on a journey through the fascinating world of bowling technology and beyond. As always, I'm your host, Orly, and we have a special guest on today. We have Brandon Brooks. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And Brandon, I always like to ask everyone what they do with the company and kind of, that way when we have a new listener, they know, your title and what you do with the company. So if you can let us know, we'd appreciate it.
Gotcha. My technical title is the Technical Documentation Specialist. So kind of getting my hands on all bits of documentation that we have, keeping them organized and easily accessible for the whole team.
Well, that is good. It's crazy when, I start interviewing people on here because sometimes you don't realize how many different positions there is, what people do. And it's pretty cool to know that there's just so many jobs that people are doing all these different things to make things happen. And not to go off, too far off subject, but once I was in, the Cubica warehouse and I'm talking to different people that are doing some interviews, and I would mention to people like, oh, what do you do? Some of the people like putting stuff together. And a lot of times they would say, oh, all I do is this. And I'm like, dude, I don't think you realize that's not all you do. I don't think you realize how big, what you're doing for the company. But yeah, it's really cool to see all the different things and just how many people it takes to make things work. But appreciate you coming on. So what I wanted to get into today was, with the holidays coming up, depending on what you have in your center, there's different lighting, whether it's cap lighting, pin deck lighting, changing different colors that are lit up on your pins. And like I said, with the holidays coming up, I know what's kind of cool, especially like with Christmas, that, you could have some green lights going, some red lights going, kind of making something look really cool in your center. So when people come in, it catches their attention, especially if they're used to going into a center that doesn't have, some of this newer lighting stuff. It's really cool. And it makes it fun for everyone to see that. So if you could kind of just let us know maybe a little bit the differences between the lighting and maybe how they can set this up if someone's new to this.
Sure. So if you're operating with center punch capping lights and pin deck lighting, chances are that you are operating with a bowling mode. And so that bowling mode is set for different times of the day to take effect and cause different light effects, pin deck effects. Basically, what happens there on the lane is defined by what's called lane effects. And if you are in Conquer and you go to setup and then modules and options, there should be a module there that is titled lights, lane effects. And here is kind of where you would set the lights to react to certain actions. So when you're ending practice, when you're signing in on the lanes, end of your pre-assigned game, all of those things are in here. And so typically in this example, if we were doing one for Christmas, you'd probably want to create a new set or a new lane effect set that is specifically titled for Christmas. That way you can kind of tell them apart from the other sets. On top of that, you've also got global moods. And so these global moods are pretty much what your lanes are doing when nothing is happening on them. When they're closed, you've just got your center open and you don't have active bowlers on there. You can kind of choose what you want the deck lights to do. If you want them to blink flat fast, if you want to do a rainbow color, if you want to do Christmas colors, it would all be set in here. And just like the lane effects, you'd also probably want to make a new set for Christmas or any specific event that you're shooting to accomplish here. Then if you were to look at the bowling mode is where you would then set both your lane effects and the global mood that you configured so that they can take effect at those certain times that, you requested, whether it be Christmas, 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, any of those holidays. You can come in here, create a completely new bowling mode that's titled after one of those and, have it take effect on the date and at the time that you're expecting.
All right, Brandon. Well, yeah, that's going to help. I think a lot of people, there's so many cool things within Conquer and just in the systems. And sometimes people don't quite know how to, use it, or they were taught real quick during training before, they had so many other things going on. So it's definitely a cool feature. We used to set up different colors in ours and 99% of the people love it. You're going to get 1% that's going to say, can you just make the pins white? Or can you just, it's too dark in here, turn the lights on. So you never know. But, I saw a video going around. It was, Sun Valley Lanes in Nebraska. Yep. And if you go search them on Facebook, they do a whole light show for 4th of July, and now they have Neoverse. So it's awesome. There's so many cool things you can do. So yeah, if you want to see a cool example of what you can do, make sure to go check out their Facebook or Instagram. And there's some cool videos there.
Yep,
Brandon,
and
again, thank you for joining the show. If you're new to the show, please make sure to go back and listen to past episodes. There's so much great content out there. Some very knowledgeable people that have been on the show. Share the show with your friends, your coworkers, anyone who works in your center who might benefit from these shows. And until next time, we appreciate it, and we will talk to everyone soon.